Welcome to our publishing party. I'm just going to talk a little bit, and then when I go like this, you can make your announcement, okay? Sound good? Great. I'll just give the adults a couple of minutes or a couple seconds just to settle in, find yourself a seat. Thank you for coming. We worked really hard. We are so ready for this day. I'm so excited. Families, thank you for coming and joining us on this morning and celebrating the hard and I think very impressive work of these young writers. And I hope that this is the first of many publishing parties that you'll be able to attend for your child and for your children. And before I turn the stage over to the stars, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what the writing workshop or the writer's workshop process is and what we've been doing for the last 10 months in this classroom around writing. As many of you know, writer's workshop is a big part of the curriculum here at Brookwood Hedge. So every grade level has it part, and it's part of the curriculum at every grade level. And the kids, the kindergartners, were so excited to find out that this is part of the tradition that they're part of. Their next door neighbors, the wood class, and the earthlings do it. The fire class writers do it. The air class, does it as well. All the classes at Brookwood Hedge are part of this big writing club. And we began our journey at the very beginning of the year, around September and October, and we made a list of all the different kinds of topics we could write about. And so what emerged were play dates with friends, loose teeth, family trips we've taken, birthday parties we've attended, and we found out that there's real magic and beauty in the everyday and writing about the everyday. And we also used two really important images, the images of the watermelon and then the image of a seed. And the idea is that we found it more compelling to write about things that we had big watermelon feelings for. And then somehow we had to find a way to capture this big feeling we had and zoom it down into one moment or one detail or one seed. And the example I gave a long time ago to the kids is I said, well, I have very big feelings for my friends, right? Really big watermelon feelings for my friends. And I somehow had to zoom in on one small moment I had with maybe some of my friends. And I said, I remember sitting on a bridge with Sean and Seema and Kristen with there was a waterfall in back of us, and we were singing Prince at the top of our lungs. And so I somehow told the kids, I've got to capture this small moment on paper. And so we used that as something to help us remember, what writers do and how they do it. Another thing we talked about is that writers plan their stories, don't they, Spirits? They don't just sit down. Writers don't just kind of sit down and say, oh, I'm going to write this, right? We need time to think and to plan. And so we used a technique called telling your story across your fingers. And so I don't know if you've seen your kids do this before, but when they're telling a story, they'll say, well, first this happened, and then second this happened, and then, and then, and then. And what we're really trying to do there is, there's sequencing, obviously, right? But also, we're really trying to pull out details. And so, readers want to know, what did you do? What did it sound like? What did it taste like? What else did you do? And then, and then, and then, and then what happened? And so, one morning, I was retelling our field trip, the story of our field trip to Draper Farm. And I told it like this. I said, we got into the cars, we saw some chickens, we headed back home. And the Spirits immediately picked up that there were so many details that I was missing in that story. And so kids said, well, what about the part about when we saw the bees? And remember how the rooster, Kavi said this, remember how the rooster had this kind of incessant crowing? And remember how Farmer Draper unearthed a bag of cookies and he found the cookie plant. And so they found all these, it's really cute, all these wonderful details that I was missing in my story, and so they helped me put my story together. Lastly, believe it or not, kindergartners can edit. They can go back They can take out words, they can reread their writing with help sometimes, but and add words that they need. The other day, Penelope was rereading her story. Remember Penelope? And she said she realized she had written pick, but she needed to write Nick for picnic. And I said, oh my gosh, that's what writers do. They go back and they polish up their writing. And just like, we use the image of, just like when you go to a fancy party and you have to fancy up your dress, right? You want to fancy up your writing because this is a party and we're celebrating, and so we want to fancy up and polish up our writing as well. We've had a lot of teachers along the way. Every kid had a alphabet chart to help us remember, oh, what does that R look like again? Or, what sound does that S make? So every kid had an alphabet chart, and every child had a mini word wall, and we also have our class word wall. And those were great tools. I found that a lot of the kids used a lot of those tools around the classroom. But I think the greatest tool has been the teachers that are sitting right next to them. Honestly, in the last about 2 weeks, I've really seen kids confer with each other, or how do you spell this, or can I read this to you? So to just borrow a Marty-ism from next door, each one teach one, we've used that a lot throughout the school year, and I've really been so proud to see the spirits really turn to each other for help. And Sean and I have been really happy to kind of confer with them and talk to them about their writing, but it's really wonderful for them to really see that they have resources sitting right next to them. Finally, I just want to dedicate this publishing party to Angela Johnson. She is a phenomenal and obviously really prolific author. She has really, I think, helped us find the beauty in the everyday. And our next very talented... So the next writer I'd like to call up is Flynn. Flynn has a wonderful story about Casadero.
I'm Tyler by Flynn. Keep the pages together. The Earth class went to Casadero. One night we caught bluebird lizards. And we petted their bellies. One night we played kickball. There was tea in the morning, and the cabin was too many, and the pool was freezing.
Image of the petting the blue-bellied lizards. So I think to spirits, to end this great day, this great holiday, we're going to take a group picture. So do you want your work too, Bonnie?
Sure. Why don't you stand up there with the books?
Okay. Come on and stand up with your published work. Come on up here, and we'll arrange you and take a little picture so you can always remember this day.
Yeah.
Oh, good, yes.
What's this? You know what? Just leave it for now and you can do it later.